What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons, and today, before we proceed with this video on one of the GOATs in DC, I need you guys to smash the subscribe button and tell all your friends to subscribe. By the time I'm recording this, we're like 30 away from 25,000 subscribers. This is a monumental milestone for me. I'm super pumped, and if you guys would help me get there, that would be absolutely amazing. If you're new to the channel, I promise I keep it rolling with the content. I'm one of the most consistent on the platform, especially in this field of content, and I hope you guys enjoy your stay. But anyways, thank you guys so much to those that tune in. Thank you to those that support me on the regular. And when I hit 25k subs, I'm dropping a Frieza Goon video with Weeaboo Warrior, as well as my 500 character second beat Naruto, because y'all smashed that like goal. But anyways, let's get into this character that even the Flash fears, one of the GOATs, Plastic Man. So first of all, shout out to Akalon for sponsoring this video. He said he's never really been that familiar with Plastic Man. I was kind of shocked that in one of my podcasts I said that Plastic Man is one of the strongest in the Justice League. So we're going to get into a brief breakdown of what he's capable of and why I said he's so strong and why the video is titled the way it is. First of all, Plastic Man is one of my favorite characters. He's cut from the mold of a Deadpool type, a Lobo type, someone who's got a lot of jokes but can back it up, right? This is a character who fell into a vat of chemicals, which is typical in comics. Like, that's almost everyone's demeanor or way of getting power as well. And what it did was gave him absolute control over his molecular structure. But it goes a lot deeper than just simple manipulation. You see, according to data books, himself and those that observe him, including some of the most brilliant characters in comics like Batman, Plastic Man is so strong because his manipulation of his own self actually coincides with his imagination. What I mean by that is, Plastic Man can turn into whatever he desires if he knows about it, if he has seen it, if he has thought about it, as long as it's within imagination. He can perfectly turn himself into that. This holds a lot of weight in DC Comics. So first of all, imagine if you had the power to turn into anything you could imagine. You would be ridiculously strong within this own reality, right? In the real world. Now, take the example of DC Comics. He has observed some of the strongest beings in the multiverse. He's fought Furnace, Martian Manhunter on cocaine and steroids. He has seen Superman battle. He's battled Doomsday. He's seen the magic users of DC. He's been involved in conflicts throughout the universe and even in multiversal conflicts. My case in point, Plastic Man is super familiar with all the different types of powers, abilities, and, dare I say, builds within DC. This is important because he can change into anything that can essentially combat what he knows or can imagine within his own verse. This explains why he has such an OD power scaling. He's been able to tag Flash and knock him out. He's been able to stand against Furnace. And if you guys didn't know, I made a joke about the cocaine and steroids, but it really is a Manhunter who's freaking out, gone completely feral, and is a team buster, legitimately able to put hands on the Justice League by himself. And the reason this is important is because Plastic Man himself stood up to him and was able to actually go toe-to-toe with him for quite a bit of time. On top of this, we saw in recent stories, he was capable of going toe-to-toe with the army of the Dark Multiverse, and this got super crazy because in that same Crisis story, Plastic Man was holding all of them off for a bit of time by himself, including the strongest version of Darkseid we have ever seen. Now, he has taken some L's over the years. I mean, Doomsday was eventually able to get through him. He couldn't keep the army of the Dark Multiverse and the Great Darkness or Pariah's mission. He couldn't keep them at bay forever, but keep in mind what this army consists of. Some of the strongest versions of the villains to ever exist in the DC Multiverse, and he was going toe-to-toe. But perhaps the biggest misfortune when it comes to Plastic Man. And I want to say this too. I mean, we've gotten out of the way how strong he is scaling to the biggest hitters in the DC Justice League, in the hero landscape in general. We unfortunately don't get to see that quite that often. He also, by the way, just another asset of his power. He's pretty much immortal. He's going to come back. He can imagine himself coming back. He doesn't seem to imagine himself permanently dying, and it allows him to come back. His immortality is really dope. And again, it makes him really hard to permanently put away. But getting back to the other point, it sucks with Plastic Man because truthfully, we don't get to see that much of him. We do get him from time to time, and this is kind of an issue with DC Comics that I've had, especially in recent memory. And if you guys want to see a rant on it, I certainly can do so. The rants have been going great. But DC's been struggling putting out versatile, different stories. They kind of go with the same few characters, and that's what you get. With the exception of like Blue Beetle and a couple of other things. Shout out to my boy Josh T, writes an amazing Blue Beetle right now. But Plastic Man's best versions, truthfully, are the Elseworld stories. For example, Injustice Comics, I'm going to make a story review just on that moment from Injustice. Plastic Man had one of the most badass moments in general when it came to comic books. He pulled up on Injustice Superman, who essentially is a Superman that's gone mad and crazy and has become a dictator type character. He had a prison of superheroes and villains. And in that prison was Plastic Man's son. Now, even in canon, not just Elseworld, Plastic Man has not been the best father. He used to be a hood rat, kind of a deadbeat, and he acknowledges it now as a hero. Well, this was important because when Plastic Man's son was taken, both Flash and Wonder Woman told Superman, hey, look, I don't care if it's this universe, I don't care if it's the main DC. You don't really mess with Plastic Man. You don't want to bring the dog out of Plastic Man. Superman's like, what are you talking about? We get to take Plastic Man. And Flash and Wonder Woman, like, I actually don't know, because that man can be whatever he imagines. So if he pulls up on us and imagines himself beating our ass, we might be cooked. Case in point, in that story, he did cook Flash. He then pulled up on Superman in front of all of Superman's people, called him a fraud, called him a hypocrite, told him he was drunk with power, and he's bullying everyone. But he would love to see Superman try to bully him. And when Superman even threatened him and got in his face, keep in mind, pretty much everyone else is folding in that verse, especially in the comics. Plastic Man didn't. He kept it 10 toes. He told Superman he was fucking tripping. He was taking his son, and if Superman wants smoke, he knows where to find Plastic Man. They can get that poppin' whenever. And Plastic Man proceeded to free his son and leave. This is important because even though, again, it's an Elseworld, it really beautifully captured the danger of Plastic Man. He is a character literally capable, in the landscape of his own verse and how they fleshed him out, of doing whatever he can imagine. Granted, some things are even beyond imagination. Some things are even beyond what you can conceive of. But within that realm of possibility that you can conceive of and conceptualize, Plastic Man can become this. And it easily becomes understandable why so many people are both afraid of him and respect what Plastic Man is capable of. Also, he can turn into bad bitches at will. Shout out to my guy. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Again, if you have not subscribed and love content like this, show some love, subscribe, and let me know if you're a new subscriber. I would love to shout you out in a 25K special. Also, if you get people to subscribe, let me know as well, and you'll get another shout out too. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.